Hi, this is Ming from Hawaii. Today, I'm going to introduce to you 10 things about Hawaii that you probably don't know about. Okay, number one, most of you know Hawaii consists of 8 islands. But did you know that there are 2 islands are off limit to any people? If you look at the map, so most of the tourists will visit Oahu, Maui, Kauai, or Big Island or the Hawaii Island or even Molokai. And then finally Lanai. Lanai is owned by Oracle founder Larry Ellison. He owns about 98% of the land of the island. So basically he pretty much owns the island of Lanai. And Lanai is open to tourists. There's an airport. Tourists can visit that island of Lanai. But as you can see, there are 2 islands that I had a red arrow showing as off limit. One is called Niihau and the other one is called Kahoolawe. So those are pretty much nobody live on the island. They are inhabitable. Long time ago, some of the military training was done in those islands. But anyway, so this is first point that you may not know about Hawaii. Most of us know that Hawaii is a tropical climate weather. It might sound weird, but actually you can see snow in Hawaii, which happen on the Big Island near the Mauna Kea because the height of the mountain. So as you can see, one of the article not too long ago, a few months ago, reported on Forbes. So Hawaii does snow, but only on the Big Island near the Mauna Kea mountainside. And then number 3, did you know that there are no snakes in Hawaii? To protect the environment, Hawaii has prohibited anyone to bring snakes to the islands. So when we are doing the hiking, so we don't need to worry about whether any snakes hiding in those trees. There are no snakes in Hawaii. Most tourists visited Oahu most likely have been to Ala Moana Shopping Center. But did you know that it is ranked number 2, the most valuable mall in America? Before the pandemic, during the regular time. While number 1 is the Sawgrass Mill Shopping Center in Florida. So this is both ranked by the annual sales, also in terms of the sales per square feet, how much sale can generate per square feet for Ala Moana Shopping Center. That's very high on the list. We all know Hawaii has been called the paradise on earth for its natural beauty. So naturally, many people want to visit and also buy house. So actually, 1 in 4 homes, or 25% of the housing in Hawaii, are owned by people from outside of Hawaii. Basically, they don't live here. They are either invest, buy the house and rent it out. So, and that has been since 2008. And in fact, on the neighbor islands such as Maui or Kauai, based on this local news, almost 50% of the homes are owned by out-of-state residents. So this is that's one of the reasons that why Hawaii is so expensive to live. So most of people know that Hawaii is very expensive to live. So it shouldn't come as a surprise to many. According to some of the study, that actually Hawaii is the most expensive place to live in the U.S. Uh, using 100 as the national average to measure, as you can see, the cost of living among a few of the categories, Hawaii ranked very high, especially housing. While 100 is the national average, then Hawaii will be 216, almost 269. Uh, so one thing is because Hawaii is an island, so the land are limited, and because many people want to buy a house, so the cost, the housing very expensive, and plus all the daily item that we use had to be shipped from the mainland. So that means everything will be expensive. If you are planning to buy a condo or house in Hawaii, uh, be aware that in Hawaii there's something called leasehold property, which means when you purchase the house or condo, you don't own the land. Uh, so while the one that own the land is called fee simple, fee simple. So if you look at here, one on the left, one on the right. The one on the left is leasehold property. That's why it's so cheap. Uh, Not only have a LH indicated, also when you look at the description, under the lease rent, you see a year 2048. That's the year that the lease end is. So in other words, if you buy now in 2022, you can use the property for 26 years, and at the time, most likely you have to return the house or the condo to the lease owner. Uh, and then on the right, that one is the fee simple with a FS indicated. That's the one that you will own the land. So that will be total ownership. So beware of that. Did you know that 1 in 4 people working in Hawaii belong to a union? In fact, based on percentage-wise, Hawaii is the most unionized state in America. Um, Now, of course, there's pros and cons about labor union, depending whether you are employer or employee perspective. But once you know about this, you can kind of understand some of the aspect about Hawaii. For example, why the Hawaiian people tend to have some laid-back attitude, and so forth. So just let you know, so Hawaii is a highly unionized state. Many workers work in the hotel industry, in the hospital, like the nurses or teacher from the school, professor from the university, and so forth. When it comes to business attire, basically in Hawaii there are only two types of men who wear suits. It's a lawyer going to court or men working at a luxury store such as Gucci and so forth. So for lawyer, they only wear suits when they go into court to see the judge. Otherwise, on a daily basis, they still wear aloha shirt. For those men, either salesmen or even security in those luxury store, then they will wear suit. Most people know that former President Obama went to Punahou School, one of the most prestigious private school in Hawaii. But you probably don't know that Punahou School actually is the #1 high school that produced the most Olympians, at least 30 of them. Those athletes throughout all these years, each Olympic game that they attend. So Punahou School, is the top high school, produced the most U.S. Olympians.